At Direct Service Overhead, we know how much trust you put in the individuals who have the privilege of working on the components of your home. We understand that a broken garage door is the last thing you want to be worried about, and most of the time, doors break at the most inconvenient times. Our professionally trained technicians service 24 hours a day, and our high-cycle parts are guaranteed to make a noticeable impact on your garage door without putting a damper on your wallet. If you're looking for need of assistance maintaining your current garage door, our team has the experience and expertise to deliver the results you deserve. Give Direct Service Overhead a call today or visit us online to learn more.
Well, to be perfectly honest, when he went in the portal over Christmas, and I want to explain that too, sometimes you say things that aren't true, but I want you to know I'm not saying things that I believe is not going to be true. I don't know if that makes sense, but Malik didn't miss any practice, didn't miss anything. He got in the portal over. The thing that bothers me, if we got guys working for 3 weeks and a guy goes in the portal, he doesn't like who comes back on the portal, and then he says, can I come back to the team? No. You missed 3 weeks of ball and work. Malik didn't do that. In that conversation, I said, we're going to give you every bit of opportunity to win the starting quarterback job, but also if you come back, I need you to be open to playing wide receiver. And so we're doing it at a slow pace. We certainly want to give him every opportunity to win the starting quarterback job, but I think you've seen it, and we certainly have seen that he could help us tremendously as a wide receiver. So that's how it came by. And to his credit, he's doing a really good job with it, and he's having to play extra reps and those things. But I think with Fortin coming on a little bit more and more and more, that will help us be able to do that a little bit.
How do you handle him, like with the scrimmage on Saturday? I mean, assume black quarterback jersey, non-contact. How do you handle when he's out at wide receiver and stuff?
Yeah, we're going to keep it that way. I also think that the guys in green that we would have in green, they're just going to, we're going to scrimmage, but they're still in green and the quarterbacks are still in black. So if Malik happens to be out there, we're not going to tackle him at wide receiver. Certainly quarterback, but same way with Cat. Cat's still in the green, but we have to scrimmage him. We just have to. That's the worst part of scrimmages. Whenever you have that happen, you have to decide, would he have tackled him, would he not have, things of that nature. And it's more important about how we play, and if we're crisp and solid and those things. But him and probably Hazelwood would be the two greens that come right off the top of my head. We're going to keep them in green Saturday, but we're going to play them.
All right, 3, 2, 1. Yo, what's going on, Arkansas Razorback fans, SEC fans everywhere? I don't know why we have we are going to talk about the McDonald's All-American. I don't know why I have Nick Smith up here for the banner. Forgot to take that down, so bear with me. That was supposed to be Sam Pittman and Malik Hornsby there, but somehow we wound up with Nick Smith. So, hey, you know what? Everyone say hello to Nick Smith. Hey, Nick, you look good in that McDonald's All-American outfit there, buddy, but you're going to look a hell of a lot better when you're wearing that Razorback red and white, or the white and red, depending on home or away, whatever. Do me a favor, guys, if you haven't already, like the stream, share the content. As always, I do appreciate each and every one of you that are here and are listening, whether you're a PTN lurker or if you're someone like Michael Kopesky, Chris G, and Anthony White, who are very active in the comments section. I love you all, and I appreciate you all. We have a lot to talk about with spring camp, a lot going on. And Musselman, who talked to the media, I guess that was last night or yesterday, he also talked with Josh Bertaccini this morning on 921 The Ticket. We'll talk a little bit about what he said there. So quite a bit to discuss, actually. I mean, this is that time of year when spring camp is just full go. It's full go, baby, and we're all about it. We're going to try and cover all of it. I'm going to do my best, at least to my capacity, right? So what's up, Chris? How you doing, man? Yo, indeed, sir. So if you guys haven't already, again, like the stream. I know you don't think it does much, but believe me, it does. Like the stream, share the content, and subscribe if you haven't already. We've had a boost of subscribers. I mean, it's just, again, it's awesome, and the views continue to climb, and I cannot be more appreciative of you guys. So again, Patreon supporters and those of you who are here live or watching after the fact, appreciate you being here. Special shout out to the PTN sponsor, Direct Service Overhead, the garage door company. They offer same-day services, emergency service 24/7, 365 days a year, free estimates, quality parts, affordable outcomes, hundreds of five-star reviews, better than best results. Our team is here and ready to serve every day as your trusted residential garage door repair team. Call us today, 501-244-3667. Again, that's 501-244-3667. They got another, Direct Service Overhead got another 5-star review, and I posted it in our Discord. They have their own page. Direct Service Overhead does. They have their own page dedicated to them, and I'll do the same with any other sponsor that wants to hop on. What's up, Scott? How you doing, man? Yo! Can't wait to see Malik's speed on display. I think we're going to know quite a bit more by the 16th, and that's going to be their open scrimmage. So about that, let's start there really fast. Now, I don't know how many of you are planning on attending, but they're doing something a little bit different this year. They're going to have a Hog Fest classic car, truck, and motorcycle show set for April 16th. Razorback Athletics will host Hog Fest presented by Pepsi. It used to be called Razor Fest, right? Wasn't it Razor Fest off and on? That started under the Jeff Long years, and I guess we're kind of going away from that. Of course, everything post-COVID is different. But I'm trying to pull this all up here. The Razorbacks annual spring game is set for Saturday, 11 a.m. on April 16th. Again, mark that down on your calendars. Inside Donald W. Reynolds Razorback Stadium. The event is free and open to the public. In conjunction with the event, Razorback Athletics will host Hog Fest presented by Pepsi, which will take place in Lot 44 on the north side of the Frank Broyles Athletic Center from 8 a.m. until 11. So this is pre-kickoff. I think it would be pretty cool if they just kept it going all the way through, and maybe they'll do that. I think it'd be pretty neat for people who, are unable to get there early enough to go check out the cars. Like, who doesn't want to go look at some sick rides? Huh? Who doesn't want to go look at some sick, slick, old school American muscle? So I think they ought to keep that open as long as they can. I know they've got some other stuff planned, I believe. Garth Brooks, have we made that clear yet? Like, when is Garth Brooks? Is it the 16th or is it the following weekend? Because I thought it was that evening, that Saturday, that April 16th evening. So that would make sense if that were the case. But I think Garth Brooks is the following weekend. I don't know. I'm not a big country guy, so I hope you'll excuse the ignorance on the Garth Brooks concert. But that's a pretty special deal. That's pretty neat. So anyways, they go on to say the free event will feature a live concert, inflatables, food vendors, sponsor activations, along with pep rally featuring the Razorback Spirit Squad. I think that's got to be a miss. Maybe they meant sponsor activities. says sponsor activations. I don't know how I just caught that. I did skim over this earlier and I did not see that, but I'm pretty sure sponsor activations. The best sight and sound marching band and the best live mascot in all of college sports, Tusk, will be there. The Juice, let's see. The Juice, a 4-piece high energy cover band playing top 40 favorites, will perform live. This is Razor Fest. I mean, let's just call it what it is. We'll perform live on the music stage starting at 8 a.m. So again, it sounds like everything starts at 8. There will also be a classic car, truck, and motorcycle show in which Razorback fans will be able to showcase their classic vehicles or motorcycles outside Razorback Stadium. So if you've got a slick ride, you can, I guess you can enter your car. Pre-registration is required at no cost to entrants with all years, makes, and models. Welcome. Listen to this. Fans who participate will receive 2 complimentary tickets to the Razorback football game versus Missouri State, set for Saturday, September 17th inside, Fayetteville, inside Razorback Stadium. For more information on how to get your classic car, truck, or motorcycle, there's a link provided. So here, I'll just share this with you guys. I thought that was pretty cool. Who doesn't appreciate some American muscle, baby? There you go. If you're curious, I will be there. I'm sure I don't know if my neighbor Alex is going to go with me this year or not. We went to 2 scrimmages last year. We went to scrimmage 2 and the red-white scrimmage. So, what up, Ty? Whoopik Suey. The hog is strong. Yeah, it's free, Scott. The entry is free. That's pretty cool. Missouri State, Petrino's team. Yeah, that's going to be something, isn't it? Any idea on Jay Will? Like I said, Wednesday, there were some rumors of possible NIL stuff going down with him. If I had to guess, the ball is entirely in his court. I think there is a possibility if he wants to return, they're going to hand him some kind of someone somewhere is going to hand him a new NIL deal. Obviously, if he stays. If he goes, who knows, right? I feel pretty confident that he's going to return. I do find it funny. I made this comment a week ago, and I'm getting just all kinds of crap hurled at me for saying it. And here we are now where it's a pretty commonly asked question. And I know it's nobody here. It's people on Facebook. Oh, he's not going. Okay, chill. I mean, you can't read his mind. I feel like, and I said this last week, I feel like he returns. The NIL is a game changer. That's not an update. God, people. Oh, I swear. But anything's possible. We don't know. We don't know what we don't know. I feel confident. I've heard there's some kind of NIL thing going on. I don't know. And that's kind of out in the public now as well. I'm sure we have a good shot as anyone. I'm curious to see if they could get Norshad from A-State. Poor Missouri, they all butthurt. Yeah, we're going to talk about the transfer here in just a second as well. I didn't mention that in the – you only have so much room in the title. I could have just cut up like 4 edited videos this week. There's so much going on. Some of the guys have their NIL deals on the site. There's real money out there like $70K. Okay. Norchad Meyer. Great pickup. Okay, so if you guys are on the topic, we can kind of go there. I don't have a ton on basketball, but we can start there really quick before we get into the football stuff. So this is what you have. Your scholarship, like who's got what, right? Like how many years remaining. Anthony Black, clearly he's not. I don't think he's not officially signed. He's committed. So you're gonna have 4 years with him. Nick Smith, Darian Ford. I mean, you know this. You guys know Walsh. These guys all have 4 years. Kamani Johnson still has a year remaining. Connor Vanover has 2. Let's see. Trevon Brazil, the 6'9.5", 6'10", 220 pounds center forward, whatever, out of Mizzou. I think he played the 5 for them a little bit this year. He's going to have 3 years remaining. Again, he's committed. He's not signed. You still have, and this is where it gets interesting, right? You still have Lawson Blake, who is a walk-on. But you have Cade Arbogast, who was a walk-on, but they gave him a scholarship. Now, it gets a little bit bizarre. So you still have Jackson Robinson, right, the A&M transfer, who's going to have 3 years remaining. And then at the let's see, did I miss somebody? Adis Toney with a year. I think I mentioned him. JD Note with a year. Devo somehow still has 3 years. I'm not sure how accurate this is. This was a screenshot my buddy sent me, actually. I asked him for confirmation. This is what he sent me, and I'm not sure how accurate that is. I thought Devo would have just 2, right? He was a sophomore this year. I'm not sure. Let's see. Last year would have been – was that technically a COVID year? How does that work with basketball? I'm mixed up. If that is the case, then yeah, he would have 3 years. If not, and if I'm reading these all wrong or if the information that was sent to me is wrong, then he should have 2 years. Because I thought the season that started in 2020, that was the COVID year for basketball. Maybe I don't know. Regardless, that's who you're going to have with some eligibility left, with at least 2 years of eligibility left in Devo. Connor Vanover with 2 years. And again, Trevon Brazile will have 3 years because he counted as a true freshman last year. He played. So we're out of the COVID stuff. If you were a freshman last year, or just this last season, I should say, no matter what, that's how many years you have left that year. If you played, I'm not sure what the basketball minimum is. In football, you could play, I think it's 4 games. You could participate and still keep your red shirt. I'm not sure what it is in basketball, to be perfectly honest. So some guys are going to have to move around because here's the thing. You're 2 over. That's 15 for today. As of today, right now, that puts you at 15 scholarships on the 2022-2023 roster, which is 2 over, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. I think 13's the cap. So that begs the question, who comes, who goes, who are you going to make room for? We've heard a lot of rumors of Connor Vanover. Someone mentioned was it Wichita Baptist? OBU? Is that who I'm thinking of? That doesn't sound right. Regardless, there's rumors. I've heard he could go somewhere, Oklahoma, go play over there, go play at a small school in Oklahoma, or possibly a small school here in Arkansas. Of course, we know his connection to Little Rock. And then you've got what's going on with Jaylin Williams, right? Does Kamani come back? He's got a year of eligibility. Does he come back, or does he want to play second fiddle? Like how much of an opportunity is he going to have? Because you know who he reminds you of? He's a thicker, more muscular version, but still, and he's also pretty physical, and he plays. I hope he stays. I want Kamani to stay, if I'm being honest. But you're going to have Jordan Walsh, Trevon Brazile. Brazile's a little bit taller, who could play in that slot, who can play in that position. Barry Dunning, 6'6". I think I've heard he's actually up to like 210, 215 now. All these guys have more than enough time to put on some weight. Have you watched Jordan Walsh's some of his content lately? I'm pretty impressed, man. I mean, he's pretty slick for someone who's 6'7", like right at, I think, close to 200 pounds. He's pretty slick. He moves pretty well, and I think he might offer you something on the offensive end of the floor that Kamani Johnson and some other guys failed to do, playing in and around that position. Adis Toney's going to have that year. That's another guy. Like, who sticks it out? I want Toney back. I want Kamani Johnson back. I want Jaylin Williams back. Clearly you want Williams back. Trevon Brazile is not 6'10", 240, 245 like Jay will. He's 6'9", 6'10", somewhere in there, about 215, 220. A little bit lighter. Again, he's got more than enough time to put on some weight. So they're going to have to make room because you've still got KK who's still left. Does KK move on? But you've still got, the incoming freshmen, Anthony Black, Darian Ford, Nick Smith, Pinion, and Barry Dunning. I mean, you're just stacked. So the question is how the hell do they handle these guys? Like, what are the options? What's on the table for the Razorbacks, right? Tony possibly leaving. Is that why we were going after the guy from A-State? I'm not sure. Everyone going to Missouri State's game better be wearing neck braces. If I don't see at least a handful of people with neck braces on, I'm going to be disappointed. I'll tell you that much right now. I don't know. That's the question. He apologized down at the Little Rock Touchdown Club, and he got a standing ovation. Whether he was sincere or not, I don't know. I mean, obviously doesn't have the greatest track record as a human being or as a head coach. Talked to any Falcons fan back when he left them to come here, and he left with games left on the schedule. Of course, we were tickled pink to have him, and then you know what? We got a taste of it. And what happened with him, and I still don't know. Those injuries are just not consistent with a motorcycle accident at all. I'm sorry. There's no skid marks on his body. You know, no one said anything about any skid marks. His face looked like someone had just held him down and pounded his face. I'm sorry, man. I think someone, maybe it was both. Maybe he did wreck his bike and someone came up and beat the crap out of him. I don't know, but didn't have the best reputation. But at the same time, people forget what the image was of the football program then. You know, we were tired of 7-8 wins a year. We thought we could do better. And we did do better. You were on the right path. And he and Jeff Long, as much as hatred as Hog fans have for both those guys, especially Long, they did kind of briefly wake the program up. I mean, there was some excitement. For anyone who lives in Fayetteville or was keeping up with the Razorbacks at the time, we hadn't seen that level of excitement in a really long time, maybe since Houston Nutt's first year when he defied all odds and did what he did year one. Like, I don't think we'd seen that kind of excitement in a number of years. Brought big-time talent here and put guys into the league. But what happened today 10 years ago, right? Today, a decade ago. I couldn't believe it when I pulled up Twitter. I was like, this is bullshit. All right, whatever. And here we are. So, I don't know. I you know what? I'd tip my cap to him. That's all. I'm not going to flip him off. John says that was an ass whooping. I second that, Tony and Jay will. Don't sleep on Dunning and Pinion. I've been saying it for a while, Michael. Don't sleep on any of these guys. And someone is going to have to sit. I mean, someone's going to not. They're going to get left behind, and the question is, can they stick it out? Will they stick it out, or they're going to head to the portal? Chance Moore is in the portal, and you know he didn't play hardly at all. What's up, Will? How you doing, man? Roster will be J. Will, Devo, J.D. Toney, Nick Smith, Walsh, Anthony Black, Brazil Pinion, Ford, Dunning. Yeah, it's. Oh, you think they get Fardaws, huh? I hope you're right. Yeah, Ware's not coming here. He wants nothing to do with sticking in state. And that's why Arkansas wasn't really ever in the mix with him, ever. So, also some updates on the McDonald's All-Americans and their minutes and kind of what they did. Nick Smith, in his game, he ended up playing 23 minutes, 8 points, 1 assist, 1 steal. Anthony Black had 4 points, 3 rebounds, but he had 4 quick assists. And then Jordan Walsh, who got 15 minutes of playing time, had 4 points, 3 rebounds, and 1 assist. Isn't that something? We're sitting here talking about 3 McDonald's All-Americans that are Razorbacks. That's incredible. It's like nothing we have ever seen. And it is spectacular. Tip my hat? Nah. But I'd wear my neck brace and BOW just a bit at the waist for okay, I don't know why you capitalized the W. I thought that was some kind of and bow just a bit at the waist for Petrino as he walked by. That Mike, that doesn't make any sense. I don't know what you're trying to say there. I tip my cap to him. I appreciate what he did in his brief time. Didn't, shouldn't have done what he did, but he did. And it is what it is. We all make mistakes. We're all humans. But it did set the program back. Make no mistake about it. But that's not all on him. Bad hires. I mean, that's not all on him. It's not his fault they made bad hire after bad hire. To be fair, Brett Bielema on the surface was a great hire at the time. It was. You just pulled a guy. You just pulled a guy from a program, from a P5 program up north that's getting to back Outback Bowls. That's incredible. It just didn't work out. So it's just it just is what it is. Yeah, I tip my cap, Mike. Apparently, coach at Oregon has connections in Arkansas. I think he has a high school coach, or I don't know, Camo. Your guess is I have no idea. I'm willing to bet Ware got some serious money to go to Oregon. Whatever, maybe. I just know that he had no interest in Arkansas. Imagine Ware alongside Jay Will. Wouldn't it be magnificent? It would be magnificent. I'm hoping, listen, if you don't get the other kid, if you don't get the the kid we were talking about Wednesday, whose name I couldn't trying to pull his damn name up here. I had a whole list here actually of all the possible transfers, all the top transfers. Here it is. Terrence Shannon, and the kid we were talking about was Fardwaz Amack out of Utah Valley. If you don't get him, I mean, there's some other options out there. Again, Musselman is the importer after all. He's going to convince someone else to come along. The question is who the hell leaves? Again, that's the question, right? Yeah, 3 Rose Bowls. That's correct. Brett Bielema took them to, I think it was 3 straight. They didn't win one, though. Do you think Jay Will has to think he's a first rounder to leave? I mean, that's usually the case, right? Like a lot of kids aren't going to leave unless they see the writing on the wall with their coaching staff, right? Or if they think they're going to be a lock for a first round. We've seen one publication put him in the first round. USA Today put him at 29th, I think it was. You had some other folks, you had some other media people that thought he was one of the better bigs in the tournament. I don't know. I can't read his mind. I have no idea what he plans on doing. I hope he sticks it out. Again, I know that that's the hot topic thing right now is whether or not Jay Will's going to be back or not. But if you don't get him back, I feel pretty confident that Muss is going to be able to do what he needs to do in the portal. He's going to convince someone, and that's just another spot to replace. That's another scholarship, but it's going to be hard to find. You're not going to be able to replace Jay Will in the portal, I don't think, in terms of what he offers to this roster. Any update on Vanover? No, nothing yet. How many first rounders can we possibly have next year? I think you're realistically looking at 2. I think you're realistically, and could you imagine if Jay Will does come back, if he builds off of what he did this year, and which is absolutely possible, especially when you have someone like Eric Musselman as your head coach. Who knows what he can do for Jay Will if he comes back? Not to mention, not only is he's going to have better talent around him, but there's going to be more of it around him. You know, I feel like this is going to be the best roster you've ever seen ever at Arkansas. Now, that does not, to me, mean that you're for sure locked to win it all. A lot of variables, a lot of things you have to overcome. You know, guys got to play together, right? We've seen 3 of these guys play together on the same team in the McDonald's All-American game, but how do they play with Jay Will? How do they play with Devo, assuming Devo sticks it out? And I think he just got an NIL deal. So I don't see him going anywhere. But then again, the NIL deal was with Canes. It's not like a local business. So you just never say never, guys. That's all I'll ever say. Never say never. Don't live in the world of absolute. I don't live there. I don't. But that is the question. Can these guys, whatever the rotation looks like, the chemistry, can they build it? Can they have chemistry together? Do they play well? Because this year, this roster was pretty good. I think when the dust settles, I feel like we'll say that this team this year was better than last year's, even though last year's team gave it all to Baylor, who would go on to win the national title. I thought Arkansas was clearly the second best team in that tournament last year. Unfortunately, they had to run into Baylor in the Elite Eight. You could say the same thing, Duke, is I'm probably going to pick Duke to win it all. I mean, I don't know. We're going to do that question in Discord today, probably here when I'm done streaming. I'm probably going to take Duke to win it all. But Duke manhandled Arkansas and then kind of let off the gas a little bit, and Arkansas then kind of closed the gap. I think had Duke played at the same level that they did in that first half and part of that second half, I think they probably would have won by maybe 20. But I think the talent was a little bit better on this year's roster. They're just, last year was about matchups, and you had some of your guys that you expected to show up, not show up, in the tournament. So we never really got a full dose of tournament Devo this year. We got a little bit, but not much. Jay Will had that NIL with that attorney. He's in that commercial. I think there's more stuff coming out though about another potential NIL deal. And keep in mind, just because you have an NIL deal, that doesn't mean you're locked in for life with that NIL deal. You got to understand that could literally be for one commercial. That NIL deal could be for a month, could be for 2 weeks. From what I understand, this could be substantial, but I've not heard a follow up on it in 2 days, so I don't know. Maybe it was smoke. Very well could have been. You just never know what to believe anymore when you, even if it's coming from pretty reliable sources, you just don't know what to believe. Only the Sith deal in absolutes. There you go. I don't live in that world. I just don't. Nothing is for sure. I don't know. When Arkansas went on that win streak, we had people in Discord saying, "Oh, no, we're gonna win. We're gonna win it all." And I know some people are just kind of joking around a little bit, but I think there were really people that thought for sure that Arkansas would win the whole thing. How many first rounders? Oh, I already read that. Yeah, I think you really could have. I think Arkansas really could have possibly 2 first rounders on next year's roster. If you have Jay Will back, if Nick Smith is all that in a bag of chips like we all believe him to be, Anthony Black, that size of a point guard, the game and the rhythm flows so well through him. You're talking about a lengthy point guard with moves who at the lower level could play on both ends of the floor. We'll see how that translates to college. But if he lives up to all of the hype, yeah, you could have 2 to 3 first-round draft picks next year. I think that's possible. I'm not telling you that's going to happen. I have no idea. I think Duke is the best team right now. I'd probably take Duke. I probably would. Anthony Black looking like a young yeah. Is it Final Four or bust? I don't live there either. I just don't, because getting to where we are now, it wasn't that long ago where we were screeching at the idea that we just made a Sweet 16. That was last year. And then we played just well enough to get to the Elite Eight. This year, it's kind of the same thing. I'm not saying that that you should rule out Final Four, but I am saying that nothing's a given here. Like I've been saying for a little bit now, nothing's a given in the tournament. Matchups matter. You could have all the talent in the world. If it's not the right matchup, you could get. You can see the early exit. Look at what happened this year in the tournament alone. Let's not forget all the Mizzou tears this week. It is pretty fantastic. Arkansas, Mississippi State this weekend. If you guys get a chance to go to the game, that's happening. I don't have this. What time is it? What time is that game? You beat Mizzou last week 2-3, or you took 2-3. The midweek game against Little Rock was canceled. You played the first one on Tuesday. You won 16-8. And now you got this 3-game series. All three of, the first 2 are 6 p.m. and then 6:30. Sunday will be 2 p.m. So if you get a chance, I'm going to try and catch that game tonight. That's a good time. 6 p.m. There we go. Of course, you're back to Friday nights in Baum. Saturday night, 6:30. And then a, mid-afternoon, 2 p.m. And then you've got on Tuesday, you've got your midweek game against UCA in Fayetteville. That's at 6 p.m. Again, that's on the 5th on Tuesday. And then you're on the road against Florida. And then you're back at home against UAPB. Look at all these in-state matchups. I'm all for it, man. I just don't understand the argument against playing in-state teams. I don't get it. Oh no, UAPB, they might sweep us. Whatever. It's midweek. It looked like you're going to lose that first game against Little Rock. They went up to 7-0, 6-0, and Arkansas was able to fight back, and I had no idea the score. Last I checked the score, it was 6-0. I had some stuff I had to get done, and then I checked back 45 minutes later or whatever. I saw that score. I couldn't believe it. Oh my God. They outscored them 2-1 after being down 6 or whatever it was, 6-0. It's pretty extraordinary. The Final Four is one of the hardest places to get to. It's very challenging. Do you think it's bad? Muss is reaching out to a few transfers, probably knows more than us about who's staying. Yeah, Swaggy, I think there is something to be said about that. I do it makes you wonder a little bit. Sometimes you have to look at some of these offers as backup plans. If we don't get so-and-so, or if so-and-so goes, we need a backup plan. Maybe it speaks more to them not knowing what's going on, but you kind of feel like these coaches always have a pretty good idea of what's going on. I mean, it is their team after all, their players and everything. I think Nick Smith is better than Moses. I think you're right, Darian. Again, we have to see this translate onto the court next year. We got to see how the chemistry, how they all flow together and everything. But if they live up to even 80% of the hype, this team is going to be ridiculously good. If they're even more than we thought, my goodness. That's all I'll say. Football recruiting just a little bit. Arkansas is in on, and I was gonna chat a little bit about some of the quarterbacks they're after. Malachi Singleton, who I'm not sure Arkansas's chances. I don't know what their chances are in him. For a while, I thought they were pretty good. Now I'm not so sure. They're still after. I'm not sure if it's Jabari Johnson or if it's Gabari. It's Gabarri. I think it's Gabari Johnson, but I'll be honest. I've never seen or read that name anywhere. That's a very unique, pretty cool name. I'm going to call him Gabari, so I'm sure I'm messing that up. But Gabari Johnson, 6 foot, 200-pounder, 4-star. Marcel Reed, another kid who's out of Tennessee, 4-star, 6'1", 175. Watched a little bit of his film. Not much. Looks like a pretty good, quarterback. And then you're after Jaden Rashada. Now, he's supposed to come in for a visit on the 16th. I've seen a little bit of his film as well. Pretty good pocket awareness. Without a doubt, I say the same thing about all the highlight reels. They're all exactly that. They're all highlight reels of the best of the best of their, of what they're showcasing, right? You're not getting to see a full game. You're not getting a chance to see the real weaknesses. But Jaden Rashada, who's out of California, again, 6'4", I think he's about $190. He's someone who's supposed to visit on the 16th. I think that's the plan. I'm not sure if it's written in stone just yet. Of course, it never is until they get here. But he's obviously, you don't get very many 5-stars in town often. They did have Archer, a kid out of Greenwood, who's going to be a 4-star. What is he, 2026? Class of 2020. It's either 25 or 26. He will probably be a 5-star by the time he's a senior or a junior. Looking pretty good for him. You just never know. I don't know if any of these guys right now, I don't know where Arkansas stands. For a while, Malachi Singleton seemed like a lock. Kid out of Georgia. Now I'm not so sure, and Johnson I'm not so sure about. So we'll keep an eye on these guys. We'll see what they do. You can't. No way. When Kendall Browse and Sam Pittman are involved, that they go 0 for 4 here, right? Right? I mean, surely they get one of these guys. Obviously, Jaden Rashada would be nice for that overall rank for the class of 2023. And these are all 2023 kids, by the way. So just keep an eye on them, and I'll do the same. Archer's the truth. Yeah. Not seen a kid hyped up like that since Mitch Mustaine. I'll say that. Any word on the 5-star quarterback? Again, I think he's going to visit on the 16th, and it's going to be his OV. Do you know if you need tickets for spring? No, it'll be. Well, how did they do that last year? Did they require tickets last year? I don't remember. Yeah, I think you had to sign in on your phone last year, right? I don't know. I don't think we have details on that. They don't say anything on Hogfest. I know they're doing something with Top Golf. Top Golf Live coming to Razorback Stadium May 5th through the 8th. So those of you who like you some Top Golf, I've been a few times. I'm not a golfer, and I have a horrible golf swing. So if I went, it would just be to watch, just to see how those festivities went down. That's pretty exciting, though. And this, I guess it is sponsored by Top Golf, because it says topgolflive.com, so I'm assuming that's an official sponsorship. But I'm not seeing anything on their – look at their football page here. Download the official Razorbacks app. What you might do, you might just go ahead and download their app. Download the official if you don't already have it, and just go from there, because if they require you to do anything, it'll be through that app. Because I'm pretty sure the Razorback spring game, it was either last year or a couple of years ago, I can't remember, but you did have to sign in on your phone. They're doing that now. If you go to high school games, like Fayetteville, they have you scan in with your phone. I mean, I get it. I think they ought to offer the tickets themselves. Let me pull up their tickets page, see what they say. There's nothing on their ticket page for needing tickets for the spring game. So I don't know. Again, if I find anything out, I'll let you know. I'll probably let you guys know in Discord or something. So, all right, let's move on to the best part here, the meat and potatoes of this show. Hogs went full pads yesterday. They did have some injuries, or they've got some guys that did not participate. Terry Wells and Trey Knox. This is what Sam Pittman said. Terry's got an injury that we're getting looked at. We don't exactly know what we're going to do there yet. Obviously, we'll do whatever the medical staff tells us to do. But he's had a back issue. And then Trey actually over spring break was blindsided with a family. That is the official quote. I'm not sure. Did a family member in another car hit him, or was he with the car, or was he inside the car with his family? I'm sure that's what he meant. Blindsided by a car and hit his head. So he's been in concussion protocol. That'd be the reason why he's not out there. So we know how pivotal it is that Trey Knox not miss any time here. This is his first full offseason at the tight end spot, and he's missing some practice. So, but he hasn't missed a lot. We'll see. Hopefully he's back sooner than later. He's got a little bit. Dwight McLaughlin has been working with the ones. The kid they got out of the portal recently. That's big for the DBs. KJ Jefferson looks like he's picking up right where he left off. Sam Pittman said he's playing with a lot of confidence, throwing the ball with velocity, throwing the deep ball well, which he's always done. Threw a good one or two to Malik today, actually. That was a nice catch he made on the very first play of team run. But what he's done is, even though the kids believed that he was the captain last year, which I did too, but I was a little bit surprised because he hadn't played before, but voted team captain. I shouldn't have been because I understand how the team feels about him. He'll be a captain again. He leads the football program along with those guys in the secondary. I think they're very valuable too. All of them are actually, but those are the older guys that are leading us. Hogs going to hold their first scrimmage on Saturday, so hopefully we'll get more out of Sam either Saturday or on Monday. So then there's the topic of Malik Hornsby from quarterback to wide receiver, and then wide receiver back to quarterback. What's really going on here? He's playing in the no-contact black jerseys, and that's according to Sam Pittman, and you heard him talk earlier before the show started. If you haven't, go back and watch it. There's about a 2-minute-long video that plays at the very beginning of the show, and he kind of talks about that a little bit. So here's what I have jotted down. So the plan is to let Hornsby still be at QB2 while letting him take reps at wide receiver, again, in the no-contact black jersey. I wrote this out. How does this work? Eventually, you'll need him to take some contact at wide receiver, but you also have a balance. You also have to balance that out with him being QB2. I'm a little curious how that works out because it's not like they don't bring him to the ground typically, right? But they do make contact with the receivers. And it's not always the most physical. Sometimes it's just as much as a touch, right? But we know that Malik has kind of struggled hanging on to the ball before. And now you're going to put him in a new position and you're going to go through off season, you're going to go through spring and maybe even fall camp without him taking without taking much contact, I should say. I'm a little curious how that works out. We're not hearing Lucas Coley's name mentioned as much, taking that spot. Instead, we're hearing about the transfer. So I don't know what's going on with that. We'll have to keep an eye on Coley and see what's going on. And again, hopefully we'll know more about that on Saturday. But Hornsby, I like the move to wide receiver, but I kind of feel like it's put up or shut up. Either you move him to wide receiver or you whatever you want to do with him. If he wants to be lined up in the backfield next to KJ, if he wants to line up in the slot or outside, I kind of feel like you need to just do that and let him go through the motions as a wide receiver or H-back or whatever the hell you want to use him as. You know, a Swiss Army knife of a player for the offense. I kind of feel like you need to make up your mind a little bit there. I don't know that you can do both. Have him taking on the role at QB2 while also trying to, get him out at wide receiver. And Sam said, like, that was one of the things when we pulled him out of the portal or when he pulled himself out of the portal, we had that conversation about, listen, you didn't miss any practice. We'll take you back. But I want you to try out wide receiver. So this wasn't Malik Hornsby asking for this. This was Sam Pittman asking him to do this. And keep in mind, Malik, when he was recruited, he wanted to play quarterback. He had offers on the table to play wide receiver elsewhere. And now here we are. We're putting him at wide receiver. And look, he obviously accepted it because he took his name out of the portal, and he's back. I think they talked him into the idea of, look, you need to give it a shot. I think he could be excellent. I don't know how if you're going to coddle him during the offseason that does him many favors. But he's also not real heavy, right? He doesn't have much weight, not a lot of meat on his bones. You really don't want to risk him getting hurt, right, at all. So, it's very delicate. It's kind of touch and go with how they deal with him during the offseason. It's going to be pivotal because if you don't have behind him, if you don't feel very confident in the guys behind him, well, we saw what we got out of Malik last year, right? Clearly, he still had a lot of room for development, and I think, now you're kind of taking away from that a little bit by focusing him also on wide receiver. And you got to keep in mind that's not okay. Everybody line up. Oh, by the way, Malik, go line up at wide receiver. That's not how it works. Like now, you've got to open up that chapter for that position. Now it's about learning that position. You could play quarterback. And you're going to know all your receivers' routes. That doesn't mean you know how to execute them. There's all kinds of guys you could line up. Over the years, you can move them at different positions. and Malik is somewhat familiar with the position, but now you're playing it at the college level. So again, you've obviously got him bought into the idea, and you've got him bought into the idea that he's going to be on the field at the same time with KJ, but he's clearly QB2. I'm just fascinated to see how this works out. I'm very fascinated. I'm curious. But I think if they handle it right, if everybody stays healthy, oh my God. Him and KJ Jefferson on the field at the same time is just terrifying. So it's like, yeah, I'm all for it. I'm just curious to see how it all kind of lays out. Listen, Hornsby came out, played wide receiver on the very first play. He had a 45-yard pass from KJ Jefferson. He's being guarded by McLaughlin, who's noted as being one of the fastest players on the team, by the way. And from what I understand, there's pretty good, I think it was man-man coverage. And he still made a great play, 45-yard pass from KJ. So, I mean, clearly he's capable of doing it. And it's not like McLaughlin is some 2-star, 3-star, no-named kind of up-and-comer. Like, this is a cat that was expected to do big things at his previous school, highly recruited out of high school, and here's Hornsby out here catching 45-yard dimes. I haven't actually seen it. This is just what I've found looking around and talking to some people. So I didn't actually see it. I don't know if there's footage out there. I'd love to see it, though. So, yeah, a lot of questions about how this works. And, again, I know we talked about it on the last live stream about Malik Hornsby and him moving to wide receiver. But now we're starting to get more and more little tidbits. We're obviously going to talk a lot about it throughout the rest of spring camp. It's going to be a huge – because it's a big move. I mean, you're talking about a guy that at one point in time – me being one of these individuals, we all thought eventually he's going to take KJ's spot at QB1 last year. And instead, the opposite happens where KJ is just so far ahead of really the majority of not just the quarterbacks on this roster, but ahead of the majority of the quarterbacks in the SEC behind a couple of guys. So now you've got this question, how do they handle someone of that skill set? He's quick, dude. He might be, and Sam Pittman talked to Josh Bernaccini this morning, if you guys didn't get a chance to listen to it. He talked about him being one of the fastest guys on this roster. And that's not a surprise to anybody who's been here listening and watching this show. We've talked about that time and time again, how when he's on the field, he's one of, if not the fastest player on the field at any given time. He also talked about Torrin Carter. Said he bragged about Torrin for a little bit, said he's looked outstanding through camp. You could tell they're concentrating quite a bit on DBs. I haven't heard him talk much about the tight ends. Maybe they feel pretty good about what's going on there. That's a good sign. It's a good sign when the media is not asking a lot of questions about it, and it's a good sign when he's not really talking much about it. That means that, okay, seems like for the moment we're okay there. We'll see. But yeah, so far it sounds like things are clicking. KJ again, picking right up where he left off, and it's so good to hear how smooth this camp is going, and it should be. My God, you've returned everybody, your special teams, your strength conditioning coach, your offensive coordinator, your defensive coordinator. You've returned them all for 3 straight years. No turnover there. Knock on wood. It should go smooth, but it helps when you have someone like KJ Jefferson in the mix as well, and guys that have been here for at least, a couple of seasons. So they're moving right along, and I feel pretty good about where Arkansas is headed through this spring camp. I hope to see you guys there on the 16th. I'll be there. You'll probably, if I get there early enough, and I'm sure if my neighbor Alex doesn't go with me, I'm sure I'll be there, and you'll catch me looking at the cards. I'm really excited about the 16th. Again, the biggest key is through spring camp is this. Get out of it healthy. Leave spring camp healthy. That has to be the key. Sup, Ty? What do you think happens to Will Wade and Penny Hardaway? I have no idea. I'm not really sure. I mean, Will Wade's obviously fired, but I don't know about Penny. We'll see. Hornsby will be mostly a wide receiver, screen player, or a running wide receiver, if you will. Yeah, I think you're probably right. I think you're going to see him line up at a couple different places. You'll see him line up in the box. It'll be, again, it's going to be fascinating to see how they handle him, they're not going to allow any contact, which just always strikes me as a big negative. That's not something, even if it is just spring camp and you've still got plenty of time to work through that and everything, but it sounds like, and again, you have to consider he's not a big, we're not talking about a 6'3", 230-pound receiver here. We're talking about a scat receiver, a guy that's like 6'2", what is he, 180? He's pretty, he's a little guy in terms of weight. Now, he's not short. I mean, 6'2" is not short, but, they're going to have to be careful with him. I get that. You don't want to get him hurt. I wonder how that works moving forward. So, yeah. Talk forever, Ty, stun the like. There you go. Cody's got it. So if you guys haven't already, feel free to join our PTN Discord. I'll share that link with you. We're going to make, something else I need to get done. I'm going to make a page for people who are going to the spring camp. That way you could slap your name on there. There's the Discord invite. If you guys aren't there yet, you need to be there. We've got everything updated. We've got our basketball. We've got the basketball page updated, the recruiting page. We've got SEC standings for baseball updated as of, I think, yesterday, right? Is when I updated that. Yeah, yes, yesterday. Arkansas right now 19-4, leading the way in the West with a 5-1 conference record. Tennessee's leading the East, and they've got a pretty impressive 24-1 start. They're on a 16-game win streak. Unless they lost their midweek, unless they lost Wednesday or Thursday, and I missed it, they're on a 16-game win streak. Tennessee is rocking. LSU's climbing their way back up. They're 18-7, but they're 3-3 in conference play. Vanderbilt's 4-2 in conference play, with the second best record in college in the SEC, 20-4 overall, with just 2 losses within the conference. So, yeah. All right, that's going to do it. Arkansas plays tonight against Mississippi State. Enjoy that. Enjoy the series this weekend. I'll be back on Monday. Woo Pig. Go Hogs.